by the capacity you have to love somebody.
All new Ally McBeal next Monday.
Next on Fox, it's a case of teddy bear napping. This boy is offering a reward to get his beloved fuzzy friend back. His story, plus what you can do to help. Next at 10. Tonight, the presidential election is in the hands of Supreme Court justices. We are in Tallahassee with the important new developments.
A masked gunman gets into a Delaware County elementary school. See what he wanted and who prevented him from causing any harm.
Trouble in the family. Fox Undercover has the exclusive details of the downfall of skinny Joey Merlino and the FBI's secret tapes of Ralph Natale.
Tropical fish are lovely to look at, but one college student took it a little too far by taking one out of the tank. I'm Sharon Crowley near the University of Delaware. I have a story coming up you might find, well, hard to swallow.
And there's some of the most creative and effective ways to ease your stress. In Fox Extra, we'll check out some of the hottest tension tamers. Good evening, I'm Jill Chernikoff.
And I'm Rich Noonan. The Fox 10 o'clock news starts now.
Good evening. Fear at a Delaware County elementary school.
That's first on Fox tonight. Police say a masked man carrying a very powerful handgun had murder on his mind when he went into a school filled with children today. He never got to pull the trigger because police caught him first. Joyce Evans joins us now live from the State Police Barracks in Middletown Township with a story. Joyce?
Rich, the suspect has been identified as 42-year-old Stephen Halpern of Chadsford. Police at this very moment are executing a search warrant at his home. We have a Fox crew there. I will be heading there as soon as we're done with this live report. But let's back up to earlier today. Police say Halpern was a former employee who left the school district right here, the Rose Tree Media School District, 5 years ago. But they say he was carrying a grudge. And today, he allegedly returned to school to settle a score.
As alluded to, he proceeded directly over to an office, attempted to get in, and proceeded to roam his way around the school.
State Trooper Felix Acosta recounted the gunman's stalking, albeit brief, movement throughout the Glenwood Elementary School around 4:40 in the afternoon.
He was a former school employee. There may have been a relationship that caused him to have some concern about another employee in the school. It was not directed, as best as we can tell, at any activity towards students. He entered the school apparently in search of another employee.
But the masked gunman was immediately spotted by a Glenwood staffer who alerted police and set off a school lockdown. That means all classrooms, offices, and entrance doors were bolted. In less than 3 minutes, troopers Christopher O'Neill and Matthew Blavitt were face to face with the suspect.
They approached the gentleman, commanded him several times to stop. He refused to stop at their command. He was finally subdued. Mere feet away from the door leading to an outside playground where a class of children were out having recess.
Once taking him down, when they turned him over, they did discover the loaded .44 caliber weapon.
None of Glenwood's 480 kindergarten through 5th graders nor school staff members came in direct contact with the man. The kids never even saw the police.
No, I was outside with the gym teacher.
Parents found out what happened through word of mouth, and this letter passed out when they came to pick up their children when school let out.
Upset. Yeah, when I was pulling in, I saw a woman coming out in tears, and my heart just dropped.
Delaware County DA Pat Meehan congratulated the school district and police for perfectly executing new emergency procedures that they've been practicing since the Columbine tragedy.
The message to parents is that the schools are safe, that we've planned for these kinds of situations. We can't prevent these situations from happening, but we know how to respond.
Now, police tell us Halpern is about to be arraigned. We're waiting for the judge to call. They will do it by video here at the police barracks in Lima, the Media Police Barracks, State Police Barracks, and then he will be transported from here, we're told, down to the county lockup, which isn't too far. I'm going to be heading on over to the location where the search warrant is being executed. Police are hoping that there's more information that they will find there to help them understand why, after 5 years and a grudge, Halpern allegedly returned to the school to shoot somebody. That's what they say. We'll find out more and we'll get back to you later in this newscast. I'm Joyce Evans reporting live from Middletown Township. We'll go back to you guys in the studio.
Joyce, it looked like those drills worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Joyce.
Well, it's all in the hands of the Florida Supreme Court, at least for now. Attorneys for George Bush and Al Gore argued their cases before Florida's highest court today. The justices must decide when the presidential election will finally end. Rick Leventhal joins us now from Tallahassee with more on the story. Rick?
Hey, Jill, to recount or not to recount, that is the critical question being considered by Florida Supreme Court, which could answer that question sometime tomorrow. Chief Justice Charles Wells saying the court is aware of this historic situation and that the real interests here are the voters' interests.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye!
Florida's highest court convenes in dramatic fashion, the presidency of the United States hanging in the balance. The 7 justices putting attorneys on the defensive. Democrats grilled first.
Isn't there something unusual about changing the rules in the middle of the game?
I don't think so, Justice Harding. I think the important thing is that we do what's right at the end.
10,000 ballots did not record a vote for president. Now that should raise an issue. I mean, maybe people went to the polls to vote for the speed train, but the logical assumption is that most people who went to the polls were there to vote for president and vice president.
As long as the manual recounts will not impair the final certification in time to permit the selection of electors by December 12th, that those manual recounts must be included.
Republicans obviously disagree, saying Secretary of State Katherine Harris was justified in imposing the hard deadline on recounted votes.
What she basically did was she looked at the various criteria in challenging an election, and she looked at other criteria as well, and she said that a manual recount that is undertaken solely to solve voter error is not the kind of thing that is sufficient to allow a breakdown of that deadline scheme.
How can this court, after the election has been held, start deciding, resetting the statutory deadlines, reanalyzing the statutory terms for resolving empirical questions of the sort that you're discussing, and redoing everything that reflects and considered judgment that's already in the election code?
Well, there's no indication yet that the hand tallies will actually be enough to give Gore the White House. So far in Broward County, with most of the precincts recounted there, the vice president has gained 117 votes. And in Miami-Dade, which just started recounting today, he picked up 34 more. Palm Beach County hasn't released its numbers yet. So officially, George W. Bush still leads by 930. And again, we could have a Supreme Court decision as early as tomorrow. Jill?
All right, Rick, what a mess. Hopefully we'll have it cleared up soon. Thanks.
Well, just a month after going to prison, former State Representative Thomas Druce is expected to be freed on bail in time for the holidays. A Dauphin County judge set bail today at $600,000. The Bucks County Republican began serving a 2 to 4 year sentence last month after pleading guilty to running a man down, then lying about it. Druce's lawyers argued that he should be given bail while his appeal is pending. If Druce makes bail, and that is in question tonight, the judge has barred him from leaving his home between 8 at night and 6 in the morning. He also must wear a monitor.
The federal corruption trial of Camden Mayor Milton Milan continues. Today, prosecutors introduced a surveillance tape shot at Philadelphia International Airport in January of 1998. The tape allegedly shows Milan and mob associate Daniel Didone leaving for a golf outing in Palm Beach, Florida. The prosecution says Milan's tickets were paid for by Didone. Milan's defense attorney says the tape shows nothing illegal.
It's no dispute that a trip was taken to Palm Beach. That didn't seem to say anything other than a trip was taken. It's never been our position that a trip was not taken. If the government had asked us, we would have stipulated to that information.
Didone allegedly channeled thousands of dollars in bribe money from mob boss Ralph Natale to Milan. Milan's accused of accepting more than $30,000 in cash bribes in exchange for city contracts. The 38-year-old mayor denies any wrongdoing.
The Bucks County man who was caught on tape squeezing bread and cookies had to face the music today. Samuel Feldman, who now lives in Las Vegas, was sentenced to 6 months probation, ordered to continue his psychiatric evaluations, and pay $1,000 to vendors whose baked goods he was videotaped here damaging. Bucks County Judge David Heckler asked Feldman why he manhandled the goodies.
The defendant never indicated what his motivation was, aside from saying that he touched too many bread products in order to try to determine their freshness.
Feldman was convicted of 2 counts of criminal mischief for fondling the food in at least 2 Bucks County supermarkets back in 1998.
Well, it looks like new technology will make it easier for police to respond to trouble, and it should help students feel safer walking around the Temple campus. The new computer-aided dispatching system was unveiled today by Philadelphia Police in conjunction with Temple University's Campus Safety Department. The system directly links Temple University Police with the Philadelphia force to coordinate and hopefully speed up response time to emergency calls. A new study shows that students at Pennsylvania colleges and universities tend to drink more alcohol than those at schools across the nation. The survey by Penn, Schoen, and Berland Associates in Washington, D.C. says 83% of male students in Pennsylvania and 85% of female students drink. That compares to 73% of male students and 77% of females across the country. The study was released just a day after a silly stunt turned into quite a scare at the University of Delaware. A student almost choked to death on a fish, and the young man wasn't eating dinner either. The fish was in a tank, and police say 22-year-old Glenn Feaster was drunk. Sharon Crowley explains.
Tropical fish like these thrive in warm waters off South America. Aggressive in nature, the carnivore survives by feeding on smaller fish. Typically, people keep the Oscar, as it's known, in large tanks as pets. These fish are meant to admire, not ingest.
This is where you swallow the fish.
You heard him right. University of Delaware student Glenn Feaster and his buddies were drinking and watching TV Sunday night when, according to a police report, Glenn pulled a live fish out of this tank as a prank and tried to swallow it.
Why did he try to swallow the fish?
Because we're 22-year-old idiots. We're watching a football game.
The fish lodged in his throat, blocking his airway. Glenn's friends had to call paramedics for help.
He was starting to turn blue and his airway was determined his airway was blocked.
If you think this story sounds fishy or even funny, consider this. Police say Glenn Feaster's silly stunt nearly cost him his life.
He could have died. He wasn't, when they first admitted him, he was admitted into critical care. It's my understanding now that he's out of critical care.
Glenn's blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit. Needless to say, the Dean of Students thinks the prank imprudent.
It's very poor judgment. We're very pleased that he's doing okay right now.
And these college students say they've learned a lesson. That is, not to take heavy drinking or flesh-eating fish lightly. In Newark, Sharon Crowley, Fox News.
Philadelphia school officials say they are trying hard to make sure that the drinking water in city schools is safe. At a city council hearing today, school board member Pedro Ramos testified that the district has spent about $2.3 million so far to clean up the water. High levels of lead were found in several drinking fountains earlier in the school year. District officials have spent almost $330 taxpayer dollars on bottled water for students. It could be next May before all the fountains are deemed safe. Students and teachers at the Swenson Skills Center in the Bustleton section of Philadelphia have to report to Lincoln High School tomorrow. That's because Swenson is still closed after Sunday night's fire there. The fire started in a heater on the roof. The building has water damage. No word yet on when the cleanup will be complete.
After 47 years, a new name for a Philadelphia area institution. Beaver College in Glenside will change its name to Arcadia University. The change for the liberal arts school will be official on July 16th. It was founded in 1853 in Beaver County. The state has just approved the new university status and the new title.
All right, we are continuing to follow the latest developments in tonight's top story. A gunman at a Delaware County elementary school. Skyfox will be over the defendant's home shortly, where the search warrant is being served. We have another crew on the way on the scene.
Also, the incredible story of a flight attendant who made a fatal mistake today and was sucked right from the plane.
In that particular business, it's good to be smart, but it's better to be lucky. And Joey was very lucky for a long time.
Going to Disney World. Looks like the luck has run out. Up next, inside Joey Merlino's scary mob world and a Fox Undercover special investigation.
Plus, we'll take time out to relax and unwind with some important tension tamers in tonight's Fox Extra.
And a Philadelphia boy is desperately seeking his stolen teddy bear. Can you help find Roosevelt Johnson? Later on the Fox 10 o'clock news.
I'm meteorologist Frank Cariello in the Fox Weather Center. Rain and snow showers around the area. Take a look at regional radar right now. Most of them pushing off the shore, but they'll be back for the morning rush hour. We're looking for brisk winds with flurries, temperature of 28 degrees, wind chills in the single digits. If you didn't see any snow today, here's how things looked in Lancaster County. A few flurries coming our way. The full forecast coming up. Fox 10 o'clock news continues. Stay with us, folks.
Wake up to the uniqueness of Good Day Philadelphia.
Today.
Good Day Philadelphia, only on Fox.
I'm a slave. What difference can I make?
The most anticipated video release of the year is finally here. Rolling Stone calls Gladiator a stunning, explosive, breathtaking epic, and Newsweek hails it spectacular. Gladiator on video and DVD this Tuesday.
Looking to save more and spend less this holiday season? With the Chrysler Holiday Sale, you can do just that. Because now you can save over $5,100 in finance charges when you buy a new 2000 Concord LX with 0% financing. Or take off in a sporty 2000 Neon and get 0% financing for 36 months. So take advantage of the Chrysler Holiday Sale today for savings that let you spend more on a real holiday priority, yourself.
Through Wednesday at Zales, save an extra $100 to $500 on selected jewelry, like these $4.99 certified diamond earrings in 18-karat gold for just $3.99. Now through Wednesday at Zales stores nationwide or shop online at Zales.com.
This Thanksgiving, save with Acme Bonus Buys. Start with Coke or Pepsi 12 packs. Get 5 for just $10. Double up on Land O'Lakes butter and Turkey Hill ice cream for your holiday meal. Buy one, get one free. And watch Olympic figure skating champions at Improv Ice, December 5th at the First Union Center. Tickets are half price with a coupon from Acme.
This portion of the 10 o'clock news is brought to you by Nissan. Driven.
Know what? You've made Nissan a winner. And here's how we're saying thanks. With a thank you lease of $369 a month on a new 2001 Nissan Pathfinder SE. In addition, J.D. Power and Associates ranked the Nissan Pathfinder as the most appealing compact sport utility vehicle. And in government crash tests, no other SUV outperformed Pathfinder in front and rear occupant side collision testing. Here's another thank you. Right now, get $2,500 in total savings on a new 2001 Ultimate GXE. Go with the winner, Nissan. Driven. Ends November 13th.
It's a family breakup like no other in mob history. One mob father turning against another. It's the Feds versus mob boss Joey Merlino, with former mob boss Ralph Natale as the star of the show.
Tonight in a Fox Undercover special report, the downfall of Skinny Joey and the FBI's secret tapes of former mob boss turned informant Ralph Natale. Dave Schratweiser joins us now with the story and the tapes.
Jill and Rich, Joey Merlino is now set to stand trial in March. A federal judge has ordered that. The jailed mob boss is charged with murder, drug dealing, and racketeering. The case against him was brought in part with the help of 3 former mobsters, including former mob boss Ralph Natale, who once stated publicly that he loved Joey Merlino like a son. Well, now the mob father has turned against that son, and the consequences could be deadly.
If Joey Merlino had a weakness, it was gambling. He called himself a degenerate gambler. The more he gambled, the more money he needed.
Joey was about making money wherever he could make money, grabbing a buck here, grabbing a buck there. And when I say it wasn't real sophisticated, it wasn't. It was very typical, hang on a corner, what do we got going today kind of thing. And even though he became the underboss and then the acting boss, he still had that mentality. I mean, you listen to the tapes, he and Previty and Joey saying, you know, who can we rob? What can we grab? Can you get me some Rolexes? I could sell them on the street myself.
Merlino's love for money led to many battles. John Stampa, who headed the mob in the early 90s, got so frustrated with Merlino's gambling and disrespect for his leadership, he plotted to kill Merlino nearly a dozen times, all unsuccessful.
The guy had 9 lives. I mean, they put bombs under his car, the bombs didn't go off. You know, they're setting up ambushes and it never happens. So, yeah, in a lot of ways, you know, somebody told me a while ago, you know, in that particular business, it's good to be smart, but it's better to be lucky. And Joey was very lucky for a long time.
I'm going to Disney World. Going to Disney World? But when Merlino's luck went bad, he stopped paying his debts, which mob watchers say ran into the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
He was a great one for, he won the bet, and as soon as he won, you better get the money up. When he lost, you had to track him down, and a lot of times you didn't pay it.
Fed up with Merlino's missteps in 1998, the New York mob fathers put out a contract on his life. They were willing to pay $500,000 to whoever took the contract. Merlino just laughed it off. I mean, the number we're hearing is $500,000.
$500,000, I'll kill myself.
Joe Merlino's the kind of guy who's going to say to himself, you know, I don't know what the rest of my life's got. So while I'm living it, I'm going to live every day like it's my last.
As long as Joey stayed with that core group of guys who grew up with him around 12th and Wolf, the feds could never get inside that inner circle. When he started to drift outside it, when he started to deal with Ralph, when he started to deal with Previty, he's jammed up.
I felt like Monica Lewinsky.
Jammed up is an understatement. Merlino and his crew sit in jail today thanks to mob captain Ron Previty, who wore a wire on them, and mob boss Ralph Natale, who betrayed them.
Isn't that something? These rat bastards, they make up stories. That's exactly what they do. Oh, my God.
Ironically, those are the words of former mob boss Ralph Natale, captured on secret FBI tapes, obtained exclusively by Fox Undercover, and never before heard in public.
They try to make people cooperate. They don't mean to tell them the truth. Cooperate with them. In other words, what they want to do.
The year was 1995. Then it was mob boss Natale complaining about rats, the kind that can bring down an entire mob family. Natale blasted mobsters who betrayed La Cosa Nostra.
But this stuff where they allow informants to walk clean and clear away. The so-called people who did the shooting are away, and now they're putting other men in jail. I don't understand it.
Fast forward to 2000. Now Natale is a rat himself. His words may bring down Merlino and his crew. It's a racketeering case bolstered by Previty, who made dozens of secretly recorded tapes, and Natale. It's rats in reverse.
We've been trying to get this guy for 5 years. This guy's the boss. He can give us this guy.
You never had anybody wearing a body wire who's a mob member. That is something that's unheard of. You know, nowadays it's almost like going to the deli line. You know, you got to like take a number, get in line, we'll see where we're going to be able to get to you.
It's a show when they kill somebody in South Philly, ain't it?
The government's case against Merlino and the others paints a violent picture.
My sister's a widow at 29.
First, the murder of Billy Veazey, the brother of government informant John Veazey. Next, it was the gangland-style killing of Anthony Tura, who made the fatal mistake of getting caught on tape saying he wanted to throw hand grenades into Merlino's home. The attempted murder of Joseph Cianglini was caught on videotape by the FBI. Now Merlino, Mazzone, the mob's number 3 man George Borghese, and longtime Merlino pal Marty Angelina stand charged in the case. Merlino's boyhood friend Tommy Scafidi is pointing the finger at this crew. Scafidi says he was there when the attempted hit went down.
You have in Philadelphia a street gang in mob disguise. Making the comparison between the Bruno mob of the 50s.
While Lincoln suddenly tailored his message depending on the politics of his audience, he steadfastly stuck to his principles.
The Republican principle, the unalterable principle never to be lost sight of, is that slavery is wrong.
Although he lost to Douglas, Lincoln emerged as one of the strongest men in the Republican Party. The presidency now loomed as a